This is Noel Tate, one half of the Velvet Drapes from Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. In a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there will come a time, there will come a day, when a threat will rise too grand for any one hero to face alone. In that time, a team shall be assembled. They are the Avengers, and this is Avengers Declassified. Hello, my friends and listeners. This is your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pits,
Phil, podcast Perich.
Hello, Philip.
Hello.
Welcome to October. Welcome to the Scarlet Witch. Tonight we are going to be discussing the Vision and the Scarlet Witch issues 1 through 4 from 1982.
Yep.
A tale of family and spooky. Well, honestly, they do a lot of family stuff in this. A lot of tying up a family and dealing with family and family. How do you want to approach these issues? Phil, do you want to talk about 4 as a whole, or each one as they go?
We could tackle them as a whole if you want.
Well, what I will start. So let's start with, as a whole. So, and of course, and this is I believe this is the. No, that might have been something else. But anyway. We open up with the Vision and Scarlet Witch on All Hallows Eve, Philip. All Hallows Eve.
Moving into their house.
Yeah, which is an odd day to do so, but hey, it's a Thursday just like any other, I suppose. They're coming into the house and they meet Jarvis, who is there. Now, of course, part of that, they meet some young kids on the street who are looking for treats and trick-or-treats, because everyone's staring at the crazy Avengers who live in the house, or who've just moved to the neighborhood. But they do a trick-or-treat. Obviously, the Vision has no treats, so he does a trick, so he shows them how he can phase. Everyone thinks that's super cool. They go home. But the kids are thinking, we need to talk to them some more, because these are the only times we may ever meet Avengers. Meanwhile, back in the house, they realize that Jarvis has come into their house already, because, he's going to help them unpack, because, why ask Thor to help you unpack? Why ask Captain America? What about the middle-aged butler?
Well, I think everything's already there. It's just, let's put some stuff on the shelves and, I
don't know. I just feel like it's one of these things where, like, I don't know if Jarvis is just like, no, man, I just show up everywhere.
Jarvis is at least going to dust. Thor's not going to dust the house before,
I know. And that, I guess it can lead to that sort of thing. But meanwhile...
But then he shows up, it's like, here, Captain America found this druidic book in a haunted castle. He wanted you to have it.
You might like this. It's like, here's a cursed book. Would you like this?
Here's a time bomb. Would you like to hang on to this?
Well, I guess you can argue that, like, Cap didn't know it was a cursed relic at the time, but... Part of me, because I didn't read that issue of Captain America that he gains the magical book, but there's a part of me that wonders, like, that seems like something he should have known. oh yeah, cursed book, you know.
You would think on this to play on the safe side, he would have given it to maybe Doctor Strange.
Although maybe he sees Wanda as like, here's a magic user I know and I trust.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I mean, Doctor Strange, do you ever really trust Doctor Strange?
I think back in 1982 they did.
Just
because maybe they didn't know fully everything he was up to, but I think they kind of did.
Yeah. It's possible. He may also be a little hard to get to. And, maybe it was just felt this is something that she could use. I mean, you can make a lot of arguments. I don't know what they are, but it just seems a little weird. Especially, and again, this goes to All Hallows Eve, Halloween night, when the veil between the worlds is even thinner than usual. Because it's always a veil. It's always pretty thin, It's all things being equal. But, Sam Hain, the spirit of Halloween, emerges. And here's a character, honestly, I would love to see more of this guy. Because, even as we get into more and more stuff with the gods and the ancients and things like that, like the idea of no, I am the manifestation of all human fear. I am Sam Hain. And, don't mess with me. That would be cool. But we have not seen him since, I don't think. Last time I saw him was in that episode of The Real Ghostbusters. But he decides to empower the 3 young teens who were trick-or-treating earlier to make them into real monsters. Jack-o'-lantern, a real goblin, and a real ghost. So that they may attack our heroes and, cause trouble. Because Sam Hain needs to be released from the magic book using Wanda's powers, presumably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, he wanted her power to break free, transform those kids to attack them and stuff.
Yeah. They do defeat the children, so that's good. Although, the whole time, obviously, the Vision is kind of annoyed at this. Like, why are you making me fight children? That is really messed up, dude. For real, honest. And in the end, the villain is defeated by throwing the book into the fire. Which is good. And they say that he's been freed from the book. But it almost kind of implies that, just sealing him in the book gave him more power. Because he was physically manifest, and without the book, his essence is freed, but he's now more dispersed. So that's a thing, Phil. Now, next episode, I believe, is the Nuklo episode.
Yes, because remember at the end of the first one, what is that? The wizard shows up at their house, because he still thinks he's Wanda's father.
Yeah, and this is, again, where we're going with all of this, because we're going to get into this family stuff here. Because, as it turns out, Frank wants to have Nuklo, his actual biological child, return to his custody, and then they want to go to the moon, the blue area of the moon, where the Inhumans can use their super science to try and heal Nuklo.
Because he's, it's basically he's radioactive, but he has the mind of a young child.
Well, that's an interesting question. Because it's an interesting question about him having the mind of a young child versus simply having the education of a young child. It's maybe his mind is fully formed. Because here's the thing, I've always wanted them to bring back Nuklo. Because if you read his Marvel Handbook entry, even without radiation powers, he actually still has superhuman strength and 9 vulnerability. He's actually still a pretty powerful guy. He works at a gas station in upstate New York, according to the last entry that we had on him. And I would love to see this guy come back, sort of moved into superheroism, not because he wants to, but just because, he's a superpowered being and someone doesn't realize how superpowered he is when things go crazy, But yes, in this moment, yeah. And I was hoping we were going to get that, because like I said, when you read the Marvel Handbook entry on Nuklo, it says, after this, he eventually gets his GED and starts gets a job and lives a happy life, which is nice of them to write in there, just to give that little tie up with a bow. But in this moment, he is currently hyper radioactive. He is 32 years old today. Good for him. And we find that Dr. I.S. Bisha is the lead doctor on his case, and he is siphoning off the radioactivity from Nuklo, and his radioactivity has been cut in half. But Philip, do you not realize that Dr. I.S. Bisha is in fact Bisha, apparently a villain of the All-Winners Squad, who was the one who set off the bomb at the nuclear plant to hopefully kill Miss America and the Wizard, because he was so mad at them. Yeah, so that was that. The Wizard sadly dies, but Nuklo is cured of his radiation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He gets to be a hero, even as he accidentally melts.
Vision loses an arm, or part of an arm.
Yeah, for a day or two, you have to send back to the factory, get a new one. So I mean, that's what happens in that issue. It's nice because it is a family issue, but like I said, I would have rather that they had given more of a coda to Nuklo at the end. But they don't, because obviously next we go into everyone at the hospital worried about Vision.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's talking about him behind Scarlet Witch's back, which he does not like. I like that again, this is at the time where Don Blake and Thor were the same person. And he's talking from Don Blake's perspective. I would have said the same thing because I'm also a doctor,
Yeah.
But, we also see that, obviously Wonder Man has been called in because they need his assistance in saving him, because it is Wonder Man's brain patterns that power the Vision in some way. But at the end of the day, we also get the Grim Reaper, who is Simon Williams' brother.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother! Who is mad at both Wonder Man, who he feels is an imitation. He's ions representing his brother, and the Vision, who is the brain patterns of his brother.
He's like, they're both just copies.
They're both just copies, but I don't know, man. I think I'd be happy if I was him, but or at least feel some kinship. But he's just decided that no. And you know what it is? He's a supervillain, and both of his brothers are superheroes. And he just feels like, man, my real brother would understand why I'm a supervillain. That kind of stuff. And he is here saying, he does not buy into it, and he loses, as you might imagine, and the day is saved. Yay!
Yeah, because Vision was in a weird coma. Yeah, I don't know if they used the Wonder Man's brain patterns, or it almost seemed like they were siphoning some of his ionic energy. But I mean, they do wake up the Vision, but he's still missing in harm.
That I actually really enjoyed, which was Vision in that Crossroads of the Mind.
Yeah.
And he sees the Human Torch, which, hey, fun fact, we will eventually find out that actually he isn't made from the Human Torch, but a quantum displaced reconstruction of the original Human Torch's body.
Yeah. Basically, Avengers Forever said, well, first they did something in Avengers West Coast, John Byrne, but then in Avengers Forever, they're kind of was it Immortus or something? It was basically cloned the Human Torch with time or something. So now there's two of them. So one gets
time clones.
Yeah, one gets rebuilt as the Vision. Yeah,
and it's all it's all good, and we meet Phineas Horton in this. Phineas Horton has had a weird career, and in fact, I at some point he is a TV repairman. So back when there were TV repair people, to give you a sense of how time does not make sense. But yeah, so Phineas Horton's here, Ultron's here, and it's weird because at one point I thought it was Korvac, but no, it's just Ultron, but with hover legs. I was like, wait, is that Korvac? He's like, no, that's just Ultron in a hover chair. I did not know Ultron never used a hover chair, so that is some odd design choices. But anyway, moving right along. Yeah, he comes out of it. They save the day. He gets his arm back. Everyone's happy. Meanwhile, back on the blue area of the moon, actually, even before that, we have to go to Mount Wundagore, where the White Pilgrim is seeking information and goes to Bova, as you do. Bova. And she's boiling milk. And immediately I'm asking, is that her milk she's boiling? Is that, she's like, everyone, here's my milk. Okay, let's make some milk products.
Yeah.
I don't know, because she's a cow woman, Yes, Bova is a cow woman. Well, I mean, it's from her udders, so. No.
Children.
Well, I mean, technically she's a cow woman, so yeah, she's got 4 teats, and
She was evolved from a cow.
what do you want from her? Leave her be.
I'm evolutionary, son.
Yeah, but that's Bova. She's a classic Marvel character. I'd love to see her show up again at some point, just living her best life. All the kids are out of the house, and she's like, "Yay!"
Yes.
Bova. No, Bova.
B-O-V-A.
As in bovine. It means a cow. Yeah, well, that's what is it, Peter Wingardner for you?
Herbert.
He likes Herbert Wingardner. I'm sorry, I forgot. He's a strange being,
But basically,
and you know what? Here's what I'll say about him. It is inherently a failure of his mindset, because he assumes evolution is to a point. He calls himself a high evolutionary. He doesn't understand evolution. He thinks it's to a point that everyone will get to this point where we're all superpowered. It's like, no, we're just going to get to a point where we're just super fecund, but are in stasis with our environment.
You think he has high standards? He worked with Miles Warren.
Fair enough. Moving right along. So the White Pilgrim.
Yes.
Whom we do not know who it is.
Asking all kinds of questions.
Yes, asking all kinds of questions. And we actually get the fact that Bova was like, yeah, their mom's name was Magda, and she really did not want their father to know where they were. And then he's like, yeah, well, guess what? This is why I'm the evil monster man.
Their names were Wanda and Pietro.
And to be fair, he isn't. I mean, honestly, it's like, oh yeah, that's why. Which is why, honestly, the attempt at a face turn at the end of this, it does not read for me.
It kind of ends abruptly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, well, I heard that my mutant child had given birth to a perfectly normal human being, so maybe I need to rethink everything I know. Although it doesn't even make sense, because that's not even what... I mean, they say, well, the child seems to be perfectly normal and human, but,
Well, again, there are those people still, those ignorant people who are all against gay marriage until, one of their children become, turns out to be gay, and they're like, oh, I guess they're not so bad after all.
Yeah, but the thing is, that character, that Luna, eventually does have some kind of powers where she always knows if you're telling the truth or something like that.
Something. Yeah, I know. It's like, the kid of a mutant and an inhuman. I wonder if she might eventually, gain powers.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. And yet they, treat it like, oh, no, this is determined.
Even like mutants usually don't have powers when they're first born. It's like not till puberty. So I'm like, why do they think she's an ordinary?
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. It's odd, and
What?
Although I do like the original story of Lockjaw being an Inhuman, like that, and they've sort of split the difference on it. But
like a mutated,
I honestly feel that, because for what it's worth, that would be a very real... I mean, friggin' Inhumans become doors. So, an Inhuman becoming the dog is not that odd of an idea.
Oh, I mean, look, Triton's like what, half like some kind of sea creature? I mean,
yeah. In fact, he can't even live on land without like a rebreather, a water recycler. So that's messed up.
But no, I think they just wanted to do a face turn with Magneto because he, I think it was around this time. And Professor X goes off into space. Yeah, they leaves Magneto in charge of that school because he's supposedly like reformed.
Yeah, but at the same, like on every level of it, it's like every time they try to make Magneto a decent human being, I think it fails miserably.
Oh yeah, eventually.
I think Magneto was always best as an arch villain. And I think that...
Oh, yeah, eventually he always goes back to that, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, and that's the thing. It's like, he was raised in hate, and he is a hateful man, because all he knows is the negativity of other people.
Yeah.
So, that's my opinion, and and actually more to the point, I think that the retroactive building of a relationship between... Wanda and Pietro and Magneto never works because nowadays they seem to want to imply that they all knew they were family.
Well, I mean, the Scarlet Witch even throws out that line. She's like, "Oh, you always did kind of look like him."
Yeah,
the Quicksilver, you kind of always look like.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just the way it's been handled lately. It's a little weird. Although now they're not family again. Now they're... I
don't know. I'm just waiting for them to turn that back again now that Marvel has the mutants. So I'm just waiting for that to go back.
Honestly, I'm just... This is it. This is me over it. So, that's our Magneto. Bop, 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 cha. I'm sure the next... few episodes will have interesting things to say.
Yes, yeah, because the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing, there's a 12, after this, there's a 12 issue Vision and Scarlet Witch series, so we'll cut that in half and half. So.
Okay, so, Philip, do we want to talk Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
They stole my idea, Phil. They stole my idea.
I know.
So, I have been saying for years... There are blog posts. In fact, I actually think I did a whole super connectivity blog post back when I did those. If those exist somewhere, about the idea of some greater cabal realizing that superhumans are a real thing, decide to not only create a superhuman but to try to control them by giving them a sidekick, and that this is why Captain America gets this sidekick. And that all other future sidekicks look exactly like him. Because Jack Monroe looks like Bucky.
Hell, Rick Jones in some stories.
And, Rick Jones. No, to me that's canonical. Let's face it, Captain America has photographic memory. If, Rick Jones just looked vaguely like Bucky, that wouldn't be enough. It's like, because even when he first sees Bucky, or first sees Rick Jones, he's like, Bucky, you're back. And, so in this one we have, of course, the Outer Circle, which is I don't know. I don't know what these guys are supposed to be, aside from just random group number 5. Secret Cabal number 5, we have, the Machine, and the Money, and the Revolution, and Love, which is, I don't know, none of these make that much sense. But they are coming in here. A little disappointed that wasn't John Jameson flying the ship, but life goes on. But it gets down to it at the end, and that basically what it is after they go to the capital, which is the floating city from which all decisions are made by the Secret Cabal. They install a revolution, and you find out that all of the hench people they all were being controlled by bombs in their neck, but that the one super adaptoid being that Cap talked out of being a villain saves them, which is awesome, because, always use your words, Phil. Always use your words.
Especially Captain America, yeah.
Yeah, But they get through, but then it gets the big reveal that, Cap, that the Revolution basically wants Bucky to kill him and to have Bucky become the new head of the Revolution, to take his seat in the council.
It might happen, because I don't know. I think it's because New York Comic Con's this weekend. Like, supposedly Bucky's getting a new look, and it almost looks like this guy. It has like a cape and everything on it. So
yeah, I mean, anything's possible, and he shoots through Cap.
Oh yeah,
because he's like, "No, man, we gotta do this." And they do it. Sad as it is. Yeah, but I like the story. I mean, it's a very exciting tale, to say the least.
Yeah, I think next year, I think it's early next year. I think we're doing like I mean, they didn't want to tell us when they were on talking to us, but I'm pretty sure they've confirmed in the news now that they're doing a crossover with Sam Wilson's book. So.
Oh yeah. There's going to be. It's called the Cold War.
Yeah.
Captain America: Cold War, and it's going to have all of these people coming back, including Ian Rogers.
Yeah.
The new Nomad.
I did see that.
It was technically Ian Zola.
Yeah.
And which is nice. Did we ever find out what happened to Jet Black? Did Jet Black ever come back aside from when she was working with the Red Skull briefly?
I don't remember. It's been so long, but
yeah, I know.
It's been a while since we've seen her. Might have even been before Hydra Cap. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see that she just has a little house in the suburbs. I would love to see people that were like born into the life of superheroism who's like, I don't really want this for myself. Maybe I just like, kind of like Captain Marvel's mom eventually did, retroactively, but still would be kind of cool.
There was one Winter Soldier miniseries. They had a few, but there was one, and I don't think they've ever touched on this since, but like, in the one miniseries, Bucky was helping people like go into witness protection who like wanted to get out of the life, just giving them new lives and stuff. So I mean, that could do something like that.
I mean, yeah, but I would really love, or like when they last caught up with Sharon Venture and she was just living on a reservation with Wyatt Wingfoot.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool, just like I fell out of the life and. Not everyone wants this as their life, and maybe sometimes we just need to slow down. We don't always have to be a hero. Do you have a book you want to talk about, Phil, from the Avengers franchise?
Did you read Ant-Man number 4, the last part of that?
No, I did not. I have not been up on my Ant-Mans. I'm a bad fan. What happens with Ant-Man?
I mean, basically, they all team up with that future Ant-Man, because in the future, I guess... Ultron, remember I said, oh, look, at the last page of the last one, it was like All-Father Ultron. Well, I guess in the future at some point, Ultron must conquer Asgard or something, so I guess he has like the Odin power, the Thor power or whatever.
Okay, well, that's useful as an Ultron.
Yeah, but yeah, they all team up and...
Does one of them go up his butt?
No.
Oh, dang it.
It's Ultron. Does he have a butt?
That's a good question.
There's a new super connectivity thread. Does Ultron have a butt? I'm going
to assume Ultrons do not have butts.
Yeah, but this was
at least not anuses. It's not the butt; it's the anus.
Yeah,
so.
But no, this was, I guess, this was the last issue of this miniseries. But then in January, they're going to be doing, I'm guessing it's another miniseries. In January, there's going to be another anniversary, The Wasp.
Oh, okay, so I guess that's going to be
by Al Ewing once again. So.
Guess we're going to get Nadia Pym and Janet Van Dyne and maybe Stinger. So that'd be nice. Or variations there of them all. So that's cool. So, hey, speaking of Ultron, did you read Savage Avengers?
Yes, I did.
And they go to $20.99. I like Deathlock Miles. He's kind of cool. I like that we opened it up in the Alchemax lab where they're just like dealing with crazy stuff. And they're like, yeah, what is that? It's like, well, it's clearly the future. Although, ironically, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the future because obviously that's pretty much a Winter Soldier arm as well. So it's like, yeah, no, we can build these arms quite frankly mass-produced.
I don't know, are they like pulling stuff from time and stuff? Because the one guy in the beginning told the other guy, he's like, you should be grateful you're on that Mad Bomb project the others were doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, and to be fair, it's just, I mean, hey, you know what? In the field of super science, because that's the thing about this field. Because, like, if you're in a universe where, scientific magic is a real thing, everybody's going to be trying to crack the code, Everybody's trying to work with it. So, yeah, the fact that time travel does exist means that, yeah, we can probably figure it out. If we can figure out how someone else did it, we can at least get some kind of pulls from it. In this moment, we see that basically when Miles was trying to get everyone home, he overshoots, goes to 2099, where now they have to deal with Jake Gallows, who it's nice to see Jake Gallows back.
Well, yeah, because he thinks they're part of the problem because, yeah, Deathlocks are, running around all killing people and stuff. So he sees, Miles, and he's like, oh, they must be with the Deathlocks.
Yeah. Although I do like when the Deathlocks come to attack them. And at first Miles thinks, oh, it's because we violated the time stream. But no, because these are Deathlocks sent by Deathlock Prime. And before we get to the reveal of who Deathlock Prime is, we get the Black Knight finding the secret lair of all the Avengers' cool stuff, all their trophies, and then we set up Elektra with Archangel's wings. We give the cloak Dr. Octopus's arms, which is cool. We give Weapon H the Absorbing Man's ball and chain.
And Flash Thompson behind the wheel of the Spider-Mobile.
Yes! The ultimate weapon, Flash Thompson in the Spider-Mobile with Dagger, which is...
Oh, yeah, cool. And then Dagger has the power prism from Dr. Spectrum, I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's where that... I thought that's where that was from.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see who is Deathlock Prime, Phil.
Once again, Ultron.
Ultron. It always comes back to Ultron now.
So do you think he's like waging a war through time now? Because yeah, he was in the future in the Ant-Man book. He's here in this book. He's a machine. He could be patient and be like, I'll shut myself down for 50, 100 years. I'll turn myself back on and try to conquer again. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if anyone is going to be doing it, I can absolutely see Ultron doing something like that. I mean, and to be fair, it's one of these weird things where it's like, oh, the Mephistos are trying to conquer the universe. Oh, well, the Ultrons are also doing it. And then there's Kang. And you kind of get the idea in this whole concept that it's just what you always have, which is all these supervillains trying to conquer the universe using similar gimmicks. And you get the feeling they're all going to just sort of like step on each other's feet, at the end of the day.
And well, speaking of that, Kang has to be bad at his job because it's like, as a time traveler, how do you not win? It's like you battle the Avengers, they're all tired. You go home, get a good night's sleep, come back 10 seconds after you left while they're all tired still, and why can't you beat them?
Well, I mean, first off, because it's not just about beating someone, it's about winning in a fair fight effectively, like if you could just that's the thing, it's like you could go from the future and say, okay, I have super atomic bombs, everyone do what I say, or I decimate the entire planet.
Yeah, but if you decimate the bombs back in the Avengers time, you're going to mess up your own time is not going to be there when you get there. Go back home.
It depends on how time travel works, because that's the thing, is like for all of the Kangs, their time is always linear.
Yeah.
Which means that there's an overtime to the time stream. So, like, each universe exists within a time stream, but then within that time stream, there is an overtime that dictates how people move within a time stream. So, I don't know, Phil. I'm excited about it, though. It's fun. It's a good story.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Any other books you want to throw out tonight, Phil?
Oh, did you read Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor number 5?
No, I did not. What happens with Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor?
Well, they have to basically... Remember, they found out who the big boss was pulling all those invader strings and invading Asgard. It was Ares.
Oh, good old Ares.
Yeah, so they have to basically drive Ares out of Asgard.
As you do.
So, yes, we get some Thor versus Ares here, so...
Cool. Anything cool? Anything exciting with that? Is there any good battles? Any good lines?
Well, basically, it's just, Ares is, escaping through a portal, and Thor wants to go after him, basically kill him, and Jane's like, no, you have to pick, between mercy and bloodshed, a king has to do all that, and so he lets him live, and I don't know, we get, a page, I don't know if the Enchantress was doing something, because the Enchantress is holding a bunch of keys, so, Although, like I said, remember, Nightmare's daughter was in this, so I don't know if maybe Amora set that in motion. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Tyr, yeah, he basically, Thor, he has him down, and he's like, he's basically, he wants to murder him, and he gives up, and he's like, coward god.
Now, is Beldar still the wife of Hel? Or is Beldar still the husband of Hela?
I guess they haven't shown.
I thought I thought at one point Tyr was in that story too.
I don't know. He might have been. I mean, he's basically just like Odin's treacherous brother. Yeah. You got to be pretty bad when you and Odin are brothers, and you're considered the bad one.
Yeah. Well, that's also. That's not even counting the serpent.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Philip. Philip. You want to tell people about how they can get wonderful merch, or how they can write to us and talk to us and be on the show if they record a message?
Yes, and again, I will remind you people, yes, next week we'll be talking the first 6 issues of that second Vision and Scarlet Witch series, so send your thoughts in for that, or in any and all new Avengers books. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find Avengers Declassified on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Avengers Facebook fan group. Again, you can find links to all the various social medias for all the shows we do. The YouTube channel, this episode, and everything we do gets a video. So smash that subscribe button, please. Get us some subscribers and watch some videos. You can watch this in HD video.
Smash it.
And of course, the Patreon. Please, if you can give, every little bit helps. We're paying for this we're on our own, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And the superhero movie brackets. We're so close to finding the worst superhero movie of all time. So subscribe now. Go listen up to all the previous episodes before we get to the finale. And you can always sit there in your Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find them all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics.
Real aluminium.
And then if you want some brilliant words from a brilliant man, Charlie Esser, where can they find this?
Well, you can always write to me in an old-fashioned email way, where mothers and fathers once did, at superconductivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconductivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsses. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just listened to another episode of Avengers Declassified. This podcast will self-destruct in 10 seconds. Good night.
This podcast will self-destruct like Vision's arm.
That's it. Get destructed.
It'll melt down. This show will fly off the handle like Magneto.
No, he was so happy to have his baby granddaughter.
No, he seemed angry at the beginning. He was like, "Bova, Bale, let you live, I guess."
Yeah, honestly. Well, and again, it shows Magda kind of had a point. So. Magda was right.
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your conchu on.